Two conceptual realities that we all have to contend with, that we all have to deal with, we have to walk with, and that none of us can deny as we walk through this world as human beings. For real. Two conceptual realities that I wanted to talk about real quick. Just touch upon. And personally too, just kind of throw out there how I look at the two and how I deal with the two and what I gravitate towards more in my own life, whether lust or whether love. That's what I wanted to talk about, just really quick. Lust, something that can't be denied, something you see sets you off, something you hear sets you off, something you can even smell at times sets you off, or taste, or touch. Your senses set you off this way, and you can't deny that you don't have feelings of lust at times. A woman, a man, whoever you may look at, whatever your preference is, there's certain people in this world that carry certain triggers, if you want to call them that, that'll set you off to feeling these feelings. Make you want to, get a little closer, know a little more. Maybe experience something, with this other person or people that, it's a private thing. It's a personal thing. It's an intimate thing. Things to be shared at times and things that are not to be shared because of certain circumstances being, but still you have those feelings. And love, the want to be accepted, the want to give back, the want to be used at times and to use. It sounds bad, but for real, that's the way it is. Some people want to serve. Some people want to be served. Some people take great pleasure, in being able to give back and watching other people smile and other people be happy, and they're people pleasers. And that's natural. When we're kids, we experience love with our parents. We want to make them happy. We want to make them proud. That's how it starts. With our friends, we want to be accepted. We want to be in the group. We want to be respectable. We want to be respected. We want that connection. And that's what love, at its core is connection. It comes in many different waves, many different colors, many different sizes, many different grades, all that. But lust and love, those two concepts, and they are realities, so they are conceptual realities. They're things you can't see, things you can't hear, things you can't smell or taste or touch, but they are real. We all go through those things, those two. As far as lust, in regards to what I look at, in regards to what I feel and what I gravitate towards, well, I'm a man. I'm a heterosexual male. I love women. I love females. I'm the exact opposite of what they are, so of course they're attractive to me. It's, opposites attract. That's how it's supposed to be, and even though that's not the way anymore, all over the world you see the change, with men gravitating towards men and women gravitating towards women. It's a thing that you have to choose for yourself, a road that you have to choose for yourself. What you do with your sexuality once you feel these feelings of lust, or have this want and desire for love, who you gravitate towards to go and find that. Well, I'm a heterosexual man. I love women. That's just me. It doesn't have to be your road. If you're a woman and you gravitate towards women, there's reasons for that. You have your own reasons. You ain't got to explain them to nobody, for real. You ain't got to make a big fight to try to prove yourself as to why your choices are right. If it's right for you, if you feel peace in what you find, or on the road that you're on, what can I say? How can I diss or damn you for all the way to the core of it? You're not me and I'm not you. If you're a man, you find the same thing in a man. I'm not that way, regardless of what some people may say about me. He's a little bit too poetic. He's a little bit too soft. He shows himself off in effeminate ways at times. So I guess he's gay, or I guess he's bi, or whatever. It's not the truth about me. If it were, I'm brave enough that I'd be able to stand on that shit and walk with it. I don't gravitate sexually towards men, but what I'm going to tell you is that I gravitate more towards the concept of love, though, than just lust. I love having meaning and finding purpose in things. I love learning. I do. Learning is a key motivation for me to continue getting up after I've fallen down after my many mistakes and shit, and just continuing on my road with some type of joy and contentment. Because I know I'm going to learn more. I'm going to experience more. Meet new people, meet new teachers, make new mistakes. Hopefully no mistakes I can't climb out of, but for real, it's going to happen. So it keeps me happy knowing there's an adventure always forward and it's never going to end. But as far as love, I always wanted to find my purpose and my own life meaning in another person, to serve another person. not really to be served. I'm not that way. Even though, like I said, there's plenty of people who have this thing about them where they want someone to pamper them and to baby them and to serve them, and you'll find people that are willing to do that eagerly too. I'm not that way. I don't really want to be served. I don't want to be, put on a pedestal that way. And I'm not a god. I'm not a demigod. I don't consider myself one or above other people. I love serving. I'm a people pleaser. For real, people, I am. I'm quiet-natured. I mean, I'm really nice. I'm really kind. And it's not a front or a facade. It's not. I look for kindness. I look for a person with humanity and a person who's willing to share and be open and who's just nice and who's giving. Those type of things really turn me on for real about women. When they're naturally that way. It's like I said, I'm not seeking anything, but I love being accepted for me just being me, and then part of me being who I am, I give more than I take. So that's my concept. That's my own slant, I'll call it, on the concept of love in me. I look more towards love. I want to be loved and I want to love back. I don't need 2 women. I don't need 3 women. I don't need 4 women. Even though the lust part does, I'm human. It pops up every day, thousands of times, because I see gorgeous, gorgeous females cross my road all the time. And they don't have to be physically just gorgeous. I mean, their personalities, that's what I look at the most. Like the woman that I kind of gravitate most towards now in life, right now, where I'm at in my road, she's not what most of you would consider a match for me that way physically. But I think she's gorgeous in and out because of how she carries herself, because of her, I don't know, just her humility and her modesty and her willingness to smile and smile sincerely, just to, I don't know, to brighten up a room for the sake of bringing some of the darkness that was brought in there just by us being us out of it and putting some light there. I love people like that who love bringing light, who love bringing sincerity and shit into the picture, and not just that fake physical bullshit, even though I'm turned on by that too. For real, there's women that I look at like, man, I'd suck your toes, I fucking lick your ass. No, I don't want to go too crazy with it. What I'm basically saying is, when it comes to lust, yes, we're all going to have things that trigger us. We're all going to see people that immediately turn us on. We're going to hear voices, like some are smooth and some are seductive and some are kind of rough and some are kind of gutter. That'll turn us on. You might touch someone's hand and it's just that right texture, even though you didn't mean to do it, and it turns on a bunch of emotions for you. Or you might smell someone with a certain scent, whether it's her perfume or his cologne, or whether you just got out the gym and a woman walks by and it's just pure natural sweat, and your body just goes into overdrive. You get sexual feelings and stuff. It happens everywhere and at every time, with almost the complete opposite of anyone else that you thought you might be turned on by, or by certain people that other people may think that you personally may never even look at or listen to. You've seen beautiful women with ugly ass dudes, and you've seen handsome guys with so-called ugly ass women, but they're happy and they're content. They turn each other on in ways that you'll never guess, or you'll never feel, because you're not them. Like the woman, like I said, I gravitate towards now, you'd think I wouldn't look at her. You'd think that I wouldn't talk to her just by, I don't know, maybe what you might perceive from me and how I carry myself and what I look like and how I talk at times. You think that she was someone I would never talk to, but you're wrong about that. You don't know my own sexual psychology, so you could never guess. I could never guess yours. Many of you fine ass females on here on Facebook probably, I don't know, got the ugliest, roughest, most hood, gutter niggas, fucking available out there. And you like that. That's cool enough for you, and what can I say about that? Or you like squares, you like nerds, you like geeks, you like people who play video games all day, people who don't work out, got dad bodies, and I may look like nothing to you. Some women say I'm gorgeous. I don't take that to the head, because I've had beautiful women look at me before. It's like, hell no. And I've seen their men out there, what the fuck? growing up and becoming more mature though, and understanding about, you know, these two conceptual realities, love and lust, and about our own sexual psychologies and how they're like individually constructed and how they're so peculiar and so different from one another. You can never judge another person based on what they're attracted to. You know, it's beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, they say, and it's true. It is so true. Some people naturally like spaghetti when they taste it. Some people, I can't stand that shit. Other people like sauerkraut. Other people can't stand the smell of it, so they'll never go near it. Some people love fish. Not fish. Some people would never touch fish. Oh, it's just slimy and gross. It smells. Some people are into fish, whether it's seafood or whether it's lake fish, and they're enthusiasts about it. I mean, you get it. You get what I'm trying to say. But as far as me, love, yes. I looked more towards love. I looked more towards meaning than just lust, even though I'm a lustful person. We all are. A lot of you stone cold loners, you know, like me, I'm a loner, but for real, I love companionship. I love being social, but I love being social with people that love being social back and that are open and that are naturally nice. I'm not trying to look for a victim, someone weak. No, because at times I can be very vulnerable too. And women have gotten the best of me, just playing me and fucking playing on my weaknesses in order to get me in a certain way. And then I had to break loose and learn many hard emotional lessons, thinking I was in the wrong all the time because I couldn't, you know, pleasure every mood that they had, mood swing or whatever, and be their little slave boy and shit. I thought I was wrong, like I did something wrong or something. But no, we all have the right to leave when we feel we're not comfortable, for real. I had to learn that too. We all have the right to leave. We're not slaves of one another. You know, it's by choice. That's what makes us adults. That's what makes us consensual and right in its own way. Learning as you live with each other and, you know, from each other and by each other, you know, socially with people, sexually, you know, socially, just being friends, having those relationships, having sexual relationships, etc. As long as it's consensual, you're learning as you're going. That's not going to be, you know, the permanent person maybe, or it may be the permanent person maybe. We never know those things. We just have to live as we learn, you know, and learn as we live in regards to that, and figure out what it is we really want from each other. What turns us on and what doesn't turn us on. We got to be true with that, but you're not always going to find a person who pushes all the right buttons, you know, for real, when they approach you in life and shit, and offer that road with you that they want to walk on and try things out with. It's not always going to turn out right. Sometimes you might just enter into a relationship with a person just because you're lonely, or just because other people think it's the right, you know, match for you and shit, and you find out it's not. This person don't do nothing for me, but you're stuck with them. You end up having babies with them or whatever. I've been through that. I've got 2 kids' moms that I'm not compatible with at all. We don't like each other. We don't get along. We can't stand each other. We're not in love with each other, but there's some type of, you know, twisted, dark connection still there that I'm trying to get rid of, for real. I think it's more about my kids. I don't even regard those 2, you know, and I know they don't regard me in any positive light, regardless of how many people out there may. You know, they may talk the complete worst about me, and they have that right. That's their road. Have the right to their opinions and their judgments and their criticisms and stuff. But, you know, I wish them well. I do. I try every day to get that hate out of me. But I'm telling you from the start, be honest with yourself. Be honest with your own feelings, your emotions. As far as the concepts of love and lust, you better know the difference. If it's just lust, it's not going to last, people. Because you feel lust about many people and many different situations and scenarios and fantasies that you may have. And one person ain't going to fit the bill all the way through, so it can't just be about lust. And if it is, you probably get what you want. If you get what you want that way, you get to screw as many people as you want if you can do it. But you won't be happy in the end. You'll never be fulfilled if it's just about lust. If you can find love, though, if you can find somebody that you can accept and suffer with, you know, try to learn them out and have them learn you out, and you can, you know, somehow have a dialogue and some type of conversation, you know, at times about things that don't turn you on, and they're willing to listen. I mean, not just sexually turn you on. I mean, even just, you know, with the willingness to continue on the road with him, then you got something good, someone you can just ride the road with and, you know, contend with new things popping up and work together with, and, you know, just try to stay in a circle with each other, and you're willing to do that and you're content with it, because there are things that person does that outweighs the bad, that are good, good to you, good to how it makes you feel, how it makes you more able to continue on your path and stuff, and still be able to stand up and take care of your function and your business and your relationships with your kids, whether they're shared with this person or not, or whatever it may be. If they can encourage you to continue forward with them, and you don't really have no beef with that, and you can look at them and say, yeah, I love that motherfucker. He or she's got a lot of problems, but so what? I do too. If you're honest and real with yourselves, that way with this person, there's more meaning to it. There's more beauty to it. There's more balance to it than all that fucking just loose, promiscuous bullshit that a lot of us just want to do because we're young and we're emotional and we don't understand what lust really is or how to balance that shit out. We all have those feelings, people. Both feelings. We want both. We do. Even a person who says they don't want love, they're lying like a motherfucker. We're all built wanting that shit to be accepted and to be embraced and to be catered to and allowed sometimes to cater others and to be of service to another person, that way. That's what love is. It's just not one-sided. You want to give that back. You want to give love back. You want to not only be loved, but to love back. That's part of the beauty of real love, true love. I want this person, but at the same time, I was going to say something. Basically, I want this person, but I don't want to be controlled by this person. I don't want to be doomed by this person, to be only one way either. I want this person to be able to allow me to be myself and to grow and to experience things, and I want them to understand and try to understand. If they can't understand, I want them to fight themselves too to try to let me be me. That's real love, for real. Letting a bird fly. If that bird is really meant for you, for real, that bird will come back. But if you try to keep it in a cage, if you try to control it or to mold it or to form it into being what you want it to be specifically because your moods declare that they need to be this way and perfect this way, it ain't gonna work out. As soon as you open that fucking cage, that bird's gonna fly and not come back. Or that bird's gonna fly and do a whole bunch of shit that's gonna set you off, for real. Yeah, they're gonna cheat on you. Yeah, they're gonna look around. They're being oppressed. You think a person oppressed wants to be in a relationship with you? If you're putting them down, if you're trying to control who they are, who they weren't meant to be. If you're trying to make them into something they're not going to stick around emotionally. They may physically, for their own reasons. Maybe it's their kids they don't want, like my situation. I stuck with a woman for years because, for real, I didn't want to leave the presence of my son and shit, even though I didn't love this woman. I felt depressed. I know she felt depressed in a lot of ways too, because I wouldn't fit the mold of what she wanted me to be. Always, curious about my movements, curious about my thoughts, judgmental about my thoughts and my beliefs and my feelings, because they were a threat to what she perceived as being the perfect relationship in her own mind with me. That I was supposed to just be some whatever she thought I was supposed to be. That wasn't who I was. So I'm not dissing and damning her like she was the only one wrong. I had my issues in that relationship too, but we weren't meant to be that way for life. And I hope if she listens to this, she can understand that and let some of that hate go, for real. I don't hate you. I don't hate any of you. Any of the ones I walk with, I don't hate you. It ain't about that, for real. But the lust wasn't there because, for real, the love wasn't there. And if it was just about lust, yeah, maybe we did have lust for each other here and there. It was genuine. There's things that turned me on about you, but there's things that didn't. And it just wasn't all cute. It wasn't all 100%. So, I looked around, I wanted other things. And as far as love, that wasn't there because it just wasn't to be that way. Who you were didn't suit me. Who I was didn't suit you. I know you didn't love me either. I know you found lovers, and I know you found, people that you really want to be, on the road with, and maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't. Maybe you're still learning. I don't know. I don't know anything about your lives, but as far as right now, that's why I'm gonna stay single. Yeah, I do have a woman that I kind of want, on my road like that. But she's telling me right now, she's like, let's just take our time and, let's just learn each other out, and I'm with that all the way. But yeah, I do talk to other females and stuff because she's not my woman. I'm not in control of her destiny. She might just turn away tomorrow and go a different way. and that's her right to do so, and I have to respect that as a man and shit. Even though I do lust for her, even though a lot of people would look at her and be like, "No, Pac, she ain't the one for you. You look like this, and she looks like that. You talk like this, she talks like that. You're totally opposites." Man, opposites attract for 50-50. All day, 50-50. I'm a man, I'm attracted to a woman, right? She's the opposite. So you're not going to think psychologically or whatever other way there could be that opposites don't attract. Sometimes the same does attract too, birds of a feather type deal, but that's not always the case. Like I said, you got lesbians, you got gays, you got bisexuals, people bouncing back and forth, doing whatever the hell they want to do. And you got people, too, who find one woman and he says, this is enough for me. I love this woman all the way through. You got a woman who says the same thing about a man. I love that nigga. I love that man all the way through. I don't care about his problems. I don't care about his issues. I'm gonna be by his side. I'm gonna be there. And they mean that shit. They're sincere with it. So, you got all types, you got all kinds, all scenarios. This is the world. There's like 7-8 billion people on here. We're not all meant to be the same. Every tree you see outside as you go wander around, a lot of them are different species, a lot of them are not. A lot of them are the same species of trees, but they grow different. Their branches grow different, their leaves grow different. We're all meant to be unique. We're all meant to be different. Many variables to this life. Many contradictions too. But as far as lust and love, like I said, I more gravitate towards love. I love having meaning. I love making things mean things. Not just having things at random and all, obscure and fucking a mess of everything. Like, I just got offered a job to go to the Bahamas and fucking Jamaica to be a porn actor, right? I've done some of this dumbass shit before and I ventured into it, but it ain't for me. I told this man, no, it was some good money too. Fine ass females, gold digging, crazy, loose, kind of not there. Females willing to do whatever the fuck for the paycheck and just a little bit of stardom and shit. The wrong way, stardom the wrong way, but hey, they're willing, and I'm a man. I'm telling you, you bend over and you got something there, I might lick that shit, I might hit that shit, who knows? I'm open with my sexuality with people, women who I allow in that way and who allow me in that way, and if the situation's right, fuck yeah. But I said no because I know I get lost in that shit, and I might lose my chance at love. Something I hold more dear than just, my dick getting pleasure. Me being able to do to a woman anything and almost everything that I want to do, every fantasy, fucking placated and fucking taken care of. I could have that. It was an option. I said no. So that's just something I want to talk about. It's a long ass video and I ramble and shit a lot, but if you can catch some meaning out of this shit, good for you. I'm Pac, Ru Redfeather, and that's all I gotta say. 50-50. Opposites. Always. Duality is reality. 50-50.